hell of a lot of players all across the pitch in this transfer window. We've still got ongoing links with Rafa Leao, Bilal El Khanous, Igor Paixão, Franquilino, countless footballers. But sometimes a player pops up where you see them linked and you think, surely that can't necessarily be the case, because I'm not entirely sure if that's the sort of player that we need, and that is who Leeds United have been linked with right about now, because the club have been linked with a Premier League striker that I will be completely honest, I don't hugely like the work of in years past, and it could make things a little bit difficult. This is one of those where I look at it and I go, But then again, I did the same with Dominic Calvert-Lewin. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about who I'm talking about. I'm going to talk about why they're potentially looking for a move, what their potential ceiling is, and what this could mean not only for them, but the wider squad going forward. And the player in question, according to Alex Crook, who is reporting this as an exclusive, is Liam Delap. He states, on behalf of TalkSport, that Leeds United and Nottingham Forest are both interested in signing the £40 million rated Liam Delap. Everton are also keen. It's one to watch in the final days of the transfer window. In my opinion, this basically says that Liam Delap has been told that he can just leave. He will not be required at his current club, which makes a hell of a lot of sense. Like, at the end of the day, he didn't perform really in the slightest at Chelsea. He's lost the number 9 shirt. I believe that was to João Pedro. And that screams not only a lack of trust on the Chelsea side. Xabi Alonso clearly doesn't like him, doesn't think that he'll play at a decent standard. But beyond that, there's a little bit of chat surrounding, well, how much money can we get out of him? Now, that £40 million fee is one of the places where I'd stumble a little bit. Personally, in my opinion, Leeds United will not be willing to match their own transfer record within a couple of weeks of just having broken the transfer record, especially when the two players that are being discussed are so clearly separate from one another in terms of their perception and their level. James Trafford at the moment is seen as an incredibly promising footballer. 23 years old, so is Liam Delap, but we'll get into a little bit more detail in a minute's time. An incredibly promising footballer, an incredibly high ceiling on James Trafford, who is England's future number 1. And the only reason that he potentially wasn't at the World Cup last year was because, well, Jordan Pickford is seemingly immovable from that position, which makes a lot of sense, but also he didn't really get time at Manchester City, not because he was playing badly and got dropped, but because the player that he was dropped for was Gianluigi Donnarumma. And you don't properly compete against Donnarumma unless you are one of the best keepers in the world already. And as Daniel Farke said at his press conference earlier on, James Trafford didn't play much last season. We shouldn't really expect the world from him this season because it's going to take a little bit of time to adapt, a little bit of time to get up to pace. Sure, he's a very, very good goalkeeper, but if he makes mistakes, he makes mistakes. That's fine. On the other hand, we need to assess the way that Liam Delap has been discussed, where Liam Delap had a very, very good season for, was it Ipswich? I think it was Ipswich, where he scored plenty of goals in the Premier League. Fine. In a side that got very firmly relegated, which is saying that he was basically getting all of the chances that Ipswich got. And then, in the years since, he's not really looked fantastic, which isn't really what you want to see. If I have a specific look at his numbers over the past few seasons, for example, at Ipswich, 24-25, played 37 games, 2,600 minutes, 12 goals. Great stuff. A couple of assists. He's not the most creative of players, which is another thing that I'll mention in a moment's time when it comes to roles and stuff like that. But then last season, didn't even nearly keep up the rate of goal scoring. 28 appearances, which is significantly fewer minutes. To be fair, 2,600 down to 1,100 minutes. Big decrease. But I imagine a part of that decrease is because he scored 1 goal, which isn't good. That's 1 goal in the Premier League. In fact, I will see if he scored goals in other competitions, but there we go. In all competitions, he managed 2 goals, which is not the most fantastic of records, let's be completely honest here. His other goal was against Barcelona in the Champions League, which is a little bit of a weird place to score your second goal of the season. And then he got 3 assists against Hull City, which not screaming top performance, which is sort of fine. But that's why, personally, I think he's probably not worth the same value as a James Trafford. I imagine if Leeds United are going to make this move, it's going to be in the category of, well, we'll want him on a loan, but we'll need sort of guarantees. And that makes me look at Newcastle wanting an interest and Everton wanting an interest and going, okay, if you guys want this, you guys can 100% have this. Because I'm not 100% certain what Liam Delap's level is. I could be wrong. I could be completely wrong. But I also think this will have a potentially negative effect in terms of the role that he plays and the potential position in the squad that he will take. Because earlier this morning I put out a video discussing the potential rumour of Lucas Mecha going to Wrexham. Lucas Mecha, very, very clearly a decent centre-forward for Leeds United. The way I was looking at it, however, was the fact that Wrexham are potentially going to be looking at something like an £8 to £10 million move. If we can manage to sort of stress and strain that move and push that value higher to something like 12 or 15, that would be fantastic for a free signing with 1 year left on his contract. This would effectively guarantee that not only would Mecha be on the way out, but this would use all of the squad cost ratio headroom that we would have spent on Lucas Mecha on that single player. And I will be honest, in terms of the profile and the way that he plays, I don't reckon Liam Delap is what we need right now. What we tend to need is someone that is able to create those chances, and either that or be incredibly clinical. Because we were comfortably below our XG last season. That was also mentioned by Daniel Farker in his press conference. We were underperforming in XG for and against. We've improved the against, with Muharemovic added, with Trafford added. It's the for that needs a little bit of a tweak now. It's the improve the XG4 by, ideally, creating more chances for the likes of Calvert-Lewin, but also putting away the chances that we do have. And I don't think Liam Delap is enough of a creator to realistically do that. And I think you come with the baggage of he would need to find a hell of a lot of form at Leeds United. And you've got the additional baggage of, to get him on the pitch, you need to take off Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know that Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a very, 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 very good player at Leeds United, and he's integral to that side. He's part of the leadership group. So I think, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, I've seen that one tweet and I'm building the rest of it from contextual knowledge, but in my personal opinion, Liam Delap isn't the one. Liam Delap isn't the one at all. I think we'd be paying a vast English tax of along the lines of £20 million more than what his actual value is. We could find a better player on the continent for less money with a higher ceiling. And all of this comes together to say that, and this is a different section from a completely personal perspective, I don't want to be like bankrolling Chelsea. To be completely honest with you, Chelsea throw money into a pit and somehow profit from their sales, and I do not understand how they do that. And that would also be the case with Liam Delap, where we would be overpaying, I think. Instead, pay attention to someone like a Nicolo Trasoldi, who is clearly a ridiculously good finisher. Pay attention to Franculino, who can create opportunities. We know that we have a very, very good scouting network. Please use it, as opposed to, here's a cast-off from the top 6, would you like them? Because all of our business so far has been very good. Elvedi, fantastic signing. Muharemovic, young, talented, brilliant stuff. Has been performing in recent seasons. Trafford has been performing in recent seasons. I think it would break our current mould to sign Liam Delap, who hasn't been. It would apply a hell of a lot of pressure to us, and ultimately cause more damage than it would be a benefit. Which is a shame, because I'm sure Liam Delap is a nice guy, but he's not going to be the nice guy for Leeds United, which is fine by me. Like, his contract has a huge amount on it. It's not going to be worth our while. But, as always, that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That'd be massively appreciated. Also, subscribe if you haven't yet. That'd be absolutely wonderful. The button's right down there. Massively appreciated. Even become a channel member. You get videos and stuff early. Not this one, because, as you can see on this screen... No, this screen... No. Where the hell did I put it? This screen... No. Okay, I've completely deleted my chat box, which was a bad idea. But I'm currently live streaming as I record this one, so that makes things a little bit funky, so I'm just going to straight release this one. Anyway, going to leave that there. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all later. Toodaloo.